Took me ages to fucking figure this one out. Whew. My kid Dezaras Prime, back with another Combiner Wars review, and here I have today Sunstreaker. Said it before. Some figures just, they disappoint. And I think part of the reason this one disappoints is because we were spoiled by the Universe 2.0 figure. And the Universe Sunstreaker, that is, what, 10 years old now. That's been around almost as long as I have on YouTube. Probably longer actually. Was a fucking work of art. It was a masterpiece in and of itself without using that fucking masterpiece banner. Sideswipe that came after as well. Fucking genius the way they just did a little thing. They just flipped the fucking chest around to make it a different head, just to make it look completely different but still the same figure. I think that influences, not fully, but it somewhat influences my opinions on this figure. And usually when I go for a Sunstreaker, I want the side swipe. Obviously with the movies, that was an exception because there was no movie Sunstreaker. They could have easily made one. I kind of wish they did. But when it comes to Combiner Wars, I'm glad we didn't get a side swipe. Or if we did get a side swipe, I'm glad I don't know about it. It's just not very good. And my opinion on this isn't fully influenced by the fact that Universe spoiled us with probably, I haven't seen the masterpiece, but the best, I'd say, retail version of Sunstreaker. And then this comes along and it's just, I mean, it has its good points. We'll go through the good points. The head sculpt is very nice. I do really like the head sculpt with the silver face and the blue eyes and the yellow detailing in the helmet, ears and that. I like the spoiler comes down to help with the feet and add it some stability. I like the chest panel, as awkward as it is to get down. I like that comes down, much like Prowl, to cover up most of the combiner port peg. Some of the detailing on the arms is nice as well. You know, the little piping and the ridges there. There's some nice detail. That's what I'll say that's good about this figure. The detail is good. It's just on a figure that just doesn't really work. I mean, look at the legs. They're all fucking disproportionate as fuck. It's like he's wearing Ugg boots that are 3 times his size. And the arms. Compare that with the arms that are fucking spindly as fuck from all areas. And I said about the chest, but the chest piece kind of does exacerbate the arms as well, because the arms look really skinny compared to the chest that's quite bulky. And again, nicely detailed, little Autobot symbol there. And the head sculpt's good. Back, not so much. And the transformation's awkward as well. This is one of those ones, it's like Ironhide in the sense that I want to like it. And there are parts that I do like. But it's just, there's just so much going against it as well. Legs are disproportionate. The arms are disproportionate to the chest, but the chest is a welcome addition. The kibble on the back is a mess. Fucking there's nice detail, the head sculpt. This is a bigger contradiction than Ironhide, because it has so many good parts in it. It's just not a very good figure overall. Strip away all the good bits and it's not great. And the hands just blend in with the fucking side fucking panels there. No attempt to recolour them or anything. And it feels cheap as well. It feels cheaper than any of the other ones, because even Dezaras felt robust. Dezaras didn't feel cheap. But this just does. And it's also got this weird fucking thing with the hips. That, where do they actually go? Do they go up? Do they come down? It's really weird, because you tend to get a lot of that when you're trying to fucking position it. And they don't stay very well. It's hard to line them up properly, because he keeps wanting to do the fucking Shakira. It's not a very good toy. It had the potential to be a very good toy. If they had all that detail on a figure that was actually decent, then it might be a different fucking matter altogether. But it just doesn't work for me. Said it before. These 4 reviews tend to go good, bad, good, bad. Prowl, which was I really like. You have Ironhide, which was disappointing. You have Mirage, which fucking good on all levels. Best fucking limb modes I've seen. And then you have Sunstreaker. See what it's like as a car once I get it to car mode. So I realised I forgot to do points of articulation. Sorry about that. But the good news is I have Wheeljack as well. So we'll get to it then. I might do Wheeljack next, actually, after Optimus Prime. But it's late, it's coming up to midnight. I've been at this all day. I think I'm starting to sag a little bit. I'll get Optimus Prime done and then go to bed. And then pick it up again tomorrow. Car mode isn't that bad. I mean, it evokes Sunstreaker's vehicle mode pretty well. See, this is where it kind of flips, because Sunstreaker's robot mode has good detail, but excuse me, it suffered in terms of the build and the construction of it, the aesthetic overall. This is kind of the reverse. The vehicle mode is very solid. It looks nice. Like I say, it looks like a Sunstreaker car. The underside is not too bad. The face and head is pretty well hidden there. Everything's pretty well hidden underneath. And you've got the nice silver paint for the lights on the front there. But it still feels cheap, and the paint apps don't really help it that much. Painted windows are fine. The nice silver paint on the wheels. The red there just, it probably actually looks better on camera than it does in hand. It just doesn't, the paint apps and detail really don't add to this in any way, I don't think. Whereas the detail on the robot mode, there was glimmers of good there on a bad figure, whereas with this, it's a good car but with pretty shoddy paintwork. I mean, the paintwork's okay. I don't hate the paintwork. It's not shit by any stretch, but it doesn't help it in any way. And sometimes a paint job can help a bit. Like Ironhide, it was mostly red, but the yellow stripe helped it a bit. Hellbat's a good example for his jet mode. Most of the blue was on the jet parts, and that helped alleviate the issue with all the grey plastic in his robot mode. This just feels it's decent. Car mode's decent. That's all I can say. It doesn't save the shoddy robot mode. You can use. Have I got the right one? Or is it that one? It might be that one actually. I think I've given. Like I said before, I have misplaced the weapons for all of these, and I may have actually put the wrong fucking hand pieces on as well. It's usually not an issue, but Sunstreaker has a unique limb piece, because his actually doubles up. If I can find where it goes. Is it that, or have I got fouled by accident? One of the hands actually doubles up as Sunstreaker's, like that thing that goes on his back, like that. It doesn't do it very well, which is probably why I'm not that bothered with figuring it out. But I know it's not just a case of do that, because that's shit. Can't find it. I'm not going to cry over it though, because this is not a toy worth crying over. Its vehicle mode is okay. Its robot mode is all over the place, disproportionate, nice attention to detail in some places, hindered by a disproportionate robot and an awkward robot. This didn't take me as long to transform as I thought it would, but it still took longer than, say, Mirage or Prowl, or even Ironhide for that matter. Let's have a look at the limbs, see if there's any saving graces there. So yeah, leg mode's pretty standard. Nowhere near as compact as Mirage. It's not bad. It's nothing to write home about. Does have the option of extending it. Some of the limbs do have this. You can use it for either hand or foot. You can pull certain bits down just to make it a little bit longer. So yeah, if you've got other limbs that do that, you can extend it a little bit. To me that just looks dodgy though, because it doesn't look like it fits. It doesn't organically mesh as well. But if you want to make your combiners a little bit taller or give them longer arms, you can do that. Assuming you've got other limbs that can extend parts. I'm trying to think that there's one that I think Swindle does it, the Swindle mold. That can do it as well. I think the tanks can actually. But yeah, as a foot, as a leg, he's nothing special like the rest of him. Let's check his arm out. I think that extension part I talked about with the leg is actually pretty necessary for the arm, because without it he is quite stumpy. That's his arm mode anyway. It's nothing special again. There's really nothing special about this toy. Which is quite disappointing for such a vain character to. Must hurt to know how truly unremarkable you are. yeah, nothing. I think there's a trick you can do with the arms. I personally don't see the point. I just leave them up there. This might be mistransformed, but what does it matter? Yeah, I don't even think doing this when I'm not tired would be a help, because it's just an unremarkable toy. It There's nothing special about it. It's feels cheap. It has some good things about it. The detail in robot mode. That's about it. But that's hindered by a disproportionate robot mode, an unremarkable vehicle mode, and just standard limb modes. At least Ironhide was a good fucking leg. Sunstreaker's just average to disappointing in all areas. And that's a shame. I've actually will have another sideswipe soon, because I've ordered the deluxes, the Siege deluxes. So I'll have the War for Cybertron, Siege, Sour. It's late. Sideswipe, Hound, Cog, and I can't remember the other one. Is the Triple Changer Deluxe. Can't remember his name. So they'll be on the way, hopefully here by Wednesday. But yeah, let's see if he's any better than his Combiner Wars brother. Anyway, that about wraps up this review for Combiner Wars Sunstreaker. An unremarkable review for an unremarkable toy. I'll be back with Optimus Prime, the Voyager, and hopefully that should be better toy and review. You shall see me next time.